It was weird to me that there was only one song in this episode, but it was a great song, so I mean, let it shine. Hey there, it's Kristen, and today we are talking about High School Musical, the series, Season 2, Episode 4. There's a big storm keeping everyone at East High, and tensions are rising. Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on High School Musical, the series. Are you loving this season so far? How did you like this episode? Let's get on into it. So like I mentioned, there's a big storm, and of course the East High Drama Club gets stuck at school. I really like TV shows that do like that storm episode. I don't know if you guys remember that Hey Arnold episode where there was that big storm. There's something about that just seems really fun to me, and I feel like me and Ashlyn would be on the same page because she seemed like she was enjoying like the little adventure as well. And in this episode, there are just a lot of issues that people have been dealing with that really come to a head here. For instance, EJ is kind of MIA a lot of this episode, but he comes into play and has a heart-to-heart with Mr. Mazzara, who I feel like now has sort of become that confidant or like advisor, mentor sort of person who, you know, he just kind of shows up randomly like a little wise Yoda and, you know, tells everyone what they need to hear. He did that a couple weeks ago for Ricky, and he just did that in this episode for EJ. He talks about the dream that he had to go to Caltech, and, you know, the fact that EJ doesn't get into Duke even though that's his legacy school, you know, that his whole family has gone to and met their true loves there and all this stuff, that, you know, that's okay, things happen for a reason. I was glad we got to see EJ have some kind of storyline because in the 3 episodes we've gotten so far, he really has not had a presence, so this was kind of that moment for him that I'm hoping that we'll get to see a bit more of him the rest of the season. They kind of hint that maybe he'll join the AV club, and who knows, maybe he will end up getting into Duke later on. Maybe he'll end up loving AV club and, you know, kind of following the path of what Mr. Mazzara wanted to do and going to Caltech, or maybe even just going to the state school that he actually got into. I think there's a lot of options there, and I hope they give him some stuff to do this season because so far he hasn't really been in much. Gina and Carlos also kind of have like a big back and forth in this episode. They have their own things that they're going through and kind of struggling with. Carlos is really nervous about going from backstage to center stage and, you know, really wants this to be an incredible show, and Gina continues the storyline of, you know, kind of feeling lonely and not really sure what her place is, but, you know, they both love dance, they both want to do the best, you know, show that they can, and they end up having this really heartfelt moment, and I feel like ultimately, you know, this is a show where things do work out and come together. They're probably going to combine the 2 ideas that they have for the Be Our Guest performance and give us a show-stopping spectacle, which I would, you know, expect nothing less. But, you know, Gina also clearly has these feelings for Ricky that are, I'm not sure if they're reciprocated. It seems like maybe they're not, and obviously she doesn't want to break up Nini and Ricky's relationship, but there's definitely something going on there, so how is she going to resolve that? I'm very curious to know, like, is something gonna happen? Seb and Courtney also have a little moment in this episode where they're trying to get service on Courtney's phone so that she can get her note cards and order some pizza for everyone. It was like a cute moment, but it was one of the weakest moments to me in the series. Like, as a whole, I just felt like it felt very fake acty, and I think they could have potentially just like done that a little bit of a different way. I just didn't think that scene worked. But Howie comes and shows up. He came and braved the storm, and I feel like, again, this is maybe hinting to me that there could be something between Courtney and Howie, you know, the fact that he, you know, risked his life to come out in the storm, to bring her pizza, to bring her note cards. I like the little dynamic going on there. There's something there. There's a spark. And then, of course, the big storyline this episode is around Nini. She and Ricky haven't really gotten a chance to see each other much. She's already going back to Yak, and she just doesn't really want to go. So she stops by to see the drama club, and I think just really kind of gets that feeling of like, this is where I'm meant to be. Miss Jen volunteers to drive Nini to the bus in the snow, and they get stuck, and they end up having this really great heart-to-heart where Nini kind of reveals that Yak isn't really what she thought it would be. It's very strict. It feels, you know, like a place where she can't flourish and be creative and, you know, have fun. Getting into Yak was a huge dream for Nini. This is something that's like very prestigious that like not everyone can get into, so, you know, to lose out on that opportunity or let that opportunity go kind of feels, I guess, confusing. Like, she wants to be grateful that she got into this school, but it's not really what she thought it was gonna be. And I really liked the conversation that she had with Miss Jen, where she opened up and was like, you know, I had dreams of being on Broadway and it didn't work out, but I found a new dream, and sometimes that's okay to go for a new dream. And then Ricky shows up at the bus station to kind of like send her off, and, you know, this whole episode he's also kind of going back and forth of like, should I tell Nini how I feel, that I want her to stay, that I want her to be with me, that I want her dream to be me, and he doesn't end up saying anything, but Nini is like, you know what, this is not my dream anymore to be at Yak. I have to find a new dream. She decides that the people that she loves being around is everyone at East High. It's not even just Ricky, it's literally everyone, and she decides to go back and she is leaving Yak. So she's gonna be back in action at East High, and Nini sings one of the best songs of the entire series, Grateful, and it is so beautifully done. The way that they did it, it felt like a music video with the snow falling. It was just really, really well done. I loved it. And then we got this nice moment at the end where Ricky, you know, finally opened up and was like, look, Nini, I want you to stay. And she was like, don't you worry, I'm on my way. And it was like nice that it was her decision, you know, her autonomy to be like, I don't want to be at Yak. This is not what's making me happy. I want to do my own thing. Versus it being like, oh, well, this guy wants me to stay. That was like an additional thing of like, yes, Ricky wants her to stay, but she made her own decision, and it just so happens it's the decision that everyone wants. It looks like next episode they're going to be getting Nini back into performing. I wonder if, you know, there's going to be some type of role for her in Beauty and the Beast, or maybe, you know, because they really want to, you know, get her back in there quick, if they'll do like a pop-up concert performance or something. I know that the next episode is also supposed to be Carlos's quinceañero, so maybe there'll be a huge musical production related to that, and that's how they kind of get Nini back in there. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I liked, you know, that whole little fun storm adventure, that people were, you know, kind of having these conversations about dreams and the fact that it's okay if they don't work out the way that you expect, because, you know, maybe there's a different path for you, or, you know, sometimes there are other dreams out there that you have as well. You don't have to just like be limited to one thing. I will say it was weird to me that there was only one song in this episode, but it was a great song, so I mean, let it shine. But I'm really excited that Nini's back at East High, and I cannot wait to see how she comes back into the picture. What are they going to be having her do there, and what will that mean for, you know, different relationships and situations. I'd love to hear how you guys are liking this episode, how you're liking the season so far, what are your theories for what's coming up next. Let me know. If you guys like this one, you can check out more of my High School Musical, the Musical, the Series reviews over here. I do them every week, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya!